breaking news before we started the show, 5,000 ground troops are headed to the Gulf right now, Marines and sailors. And more F-35s and more warships are also headed there. Not exactly what you do when you're wrapping up a war that you're in the middle of winning. And here's the clownish statement that Hegseth made this morning.
The only thing prohibiting transit in the Straits right now is Iran shooting at shipping. It is open for transit should Iran not do that.
It's open for transit if Iran stops fighting. Nina, what's your sense? Are they gonna stop fighting? Are we winning? Do we have this thing almost wrapped up? Are they about to surrender?
No, absolutely not. I mean, you cannot expect a sovereign nation, whether we agree with the brutality of their leadership, to just roll over for the United States of America. And that's a point that these folks are not getting. And what enrages me even more is just the cavalier attitude that they have about sending other people's children and loved ones into war. It's as if they think they playing a video game. All Americans should be outraged by that. You cannot war your way to peace. We are at over $11 billion right now of taxpayers' dollars on this. But meanwhile, on the home front, every time we try to fight for something like universal health care, they say, how you gonna pay for it? Canceling student debt. How you gonna pay for it? You know, the things that would enhance domestic tranquility, those of us who believe in those things are always asked, how are we gonna pay for it? But when it comes time to go to war, rarely is that question asked by the majority of the members of Congress and also presidents. This is not the only president that has tried that not just tried, but went around Congress. He's not the only one. But until the American people rise up and say, we are not going to take this, you are not going to sacrifice. We are sacrificing the sons and daughters for no reason. And I amen what the Congresswoman said about this is not our war. This is something that the right-wing government of Israel has wanted for a very long time. And unfortunately, they have a president in President Donald J. Trump that is willing to give it to them and sacrifice Americans. This does not seem like America first to me.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get back to America first and I'm gonna get back to the cost of the war. But Nina, let me stay with you. So the question is open as to why we went in this war in the first place. First, now the Iranian state media is starting to troll us. And so they're saying that it was because of the Epstein files, and they put together this Lego thing. It feels like it's something that would have come out of Trump's account at in a different time, but here they are trolling us. Okay, so we shouldn't even be in this position to have this happen to us. But there's some who theorize that it's to distract from the Epstein files, Nina. Some who say it's mainly for Israel. And the Trump administration insists, no, there are American objectives here, although they don't quite clarify what they are. So why do you think we actually went into this war?
They can't clarify it because at the time that the president took this action, there's no proof or evidence that the administration has given that they were an imminent threat, that Iran was an imminent threat at the time. Certainly, it could be a distraction. I would hate to think that they would go this far to distract from the Epstein files. I think they did this, number one, for Israel, and then number two, for the oil. If we look at the types of places that the president has raised up on, without the authority of Congress, even from kidnapping a sovereign nation's leader, in Venezuela. We look at what they did in Nigeria, the types of places that he has put muscle to. All you got to do is look at their natural resources. And when it comes to the Epstein files, certainly we have the Congresswoman here who showed immense courage along with her colleagues, Congressman Ro Khanna, Congressman Massey, Congresswoman Summer Lee certainly showed courage at the time to say, we are going to stand with the survivors of the Epstein files and push back on this administration. So yeah, this could be a distraction. And if he is willing to make the American people sacrifice this much for a distraction on the Epstein files, we got a whole lot of we have bigger problems.
So Representative Green, they said it was to annihilate their nukes, but President Trump told us their nuclear facilities were already annihilated. And they said that it wasn't for regime change, but now they're sending in ground troops. And plus, we killed 49 of their top regime leaders. So why do you think we actually went to war?
You know, as long as I can remember, and I'm sure it's the same for the two of you as well, we have been told on television, mainly by Bibi Netanyahu, that Iran is on the verge at any time within weeks or months away from having a nuclear weapon. And once they get a nuclear weapon, they are going to kill all of us. They're going to bomb Israel and they're going to bomb America. Then we see the recordings played over and over again, death to America, death to Israel. And of course, that's something that we as Americans completely reject and never want to be victim of some foreign nation that chants death to America or death to Israel. But I also want to say that I feel like what we've gotten from Bibi Netanyahu is nothing but propaganda, and we've gotten it for decades. And the proof is the lives that we've lived and the history that we've seen. We have not seen Iran develop a nuclear weapon. We have not seen Iran nuke Israel or nuke America. As a matter of fact, we've seen the opposite. We've seen Israel demand a war and demand America go to war with Iran, and now we have seen it happen. And I fought very hard on the Epstein files because I don't think any woman should ever be a victim in that way, especially young teenage girls or young men for that matter. I don't think anyone should be a victim of rich, powerful men, and I don't think our government should hide it and protect these rich, powerful men. So I fully understand them trolling our country with the Epstein class, but it's the Epstein class that is a true issue. And when it comes to the reasons for this Israel's war on Iran and America's complacency and willingness to go along with it, especially with President Trump and this administration, I think we can't ignore the religious nature to this. This is something that's been talked about a lot all over the internet. I'm a Christian. I believe fully in the Bible and Jesus is my savior, but I don't think the way to go to heaven is to see the third temple rebuilt. For me, it's my full faith in Jesus's work on the cross, and he said it's finished. But for many Christian Zionists, and many of them serve in the administration, that's what they think has to happen. Israel certainly wants to build the third temple. This is their religious objective. And they have held Iran, the Persian people, as their enemy for thousands of years, calling them Amalek and wanting to wipe them out. And so I fully reject, if that is the reason, some of the reasons behind the scenes that this war is being waged, I, as an American Christian, fully reject it. And I don't think that innocent people should be murdered simply for their blood or their heritage or who they are. I think America needs to stand on our own 2 feet and stop fighting Israel's wars, stop funding the genocide that they have waged on Gaza and they're now waging on Lebanon. And I think that American Christians need to return to the Bible and understand that our faith and our salvation relies on Jesus's work, not on the rebuilding of some third temple.
So let me stay with you, Representative Green, for a couple of quick questions. So like we just said, it looks like there's 5,000 American troops headed to Iran. Shouldn't that be Israeli troops?
Yes, absolutely. American troops should not be going to this war in Iran. As a matter of fact, this war shouldn't even be taking place. And the 13 military members who have been tragically killed, and the hundreds of other American military members that have been injured, none of them should have been killed or injured. As a matter of fact, our military should be strictly focused on our homeland. That's the purpose of our military, is defending the United States if we are invaded by some foreign nation. But no, Israel, if this is the war they want to wage on Iran, let them send their sons and daughters. And if we have American politicians like Lindsey Graham or Randy Fine or any of these other sick and disgusting human beings that are demanding the death of foreign people and their children, then they should should go to the front lines and they should fight this war themselves. But I don't believe this is America's war, and I don't believe it's our place.
So, Nina, let me come back to you for a sec there, because so right now, Israel is invading Lebanon as we speak. They use the Iran war as cover to take more land in Lebanon. They've displaced nearly 1 million people there, killed over 600 civilians, including over 100 children. So they're using their ground troops to acquire more land. Do you agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene that the 5,000 ground troops being sent to Iran should not be Americans, should be Israelis if they want this war?
Yeah, absolutely. And what we're seeing is a total scourge on the Middle East by the right-wing government of Israel. All of these nations are sovereign. I mean, as Americans, we would not stand for another nation to just boldly declare we're coming in because we don't like what President Donald J. Trump has been doing. And so we're gonna come in and take over your country. That would be laughable. Even I would find that laughable. And despite the fact that I do not agree with 99.9% of what this president is doing. But what I do recognize as an American is that we are a sovereign nation. And so no other nation has the right to come in to try to take our land, to come in and try to tell us what to do in that manner. At the same point, we should have the same level of respect for other sovereign nations instead of utilizing the mantra that might makes right. That's just like a bully living on your street who just decides, you know what, I want your house now. So I'm gonna come in and plow it down because I have the nuclear weapons, I have the biggest guns, I have the biggest military, and I don't like you on this street. So I'm just gonna come in and take over. No one would stand for that. At the same time, the love that we should have, because just as the Congresswoman, I am a Christian woman too, hailed from the Black liberation side of this of the struggle of what it means to love your neighbor, what it means to do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and also what it means to be able to use power in a way that doesn't maim, doesn't inflict, doesn't kill, but use power to lift. War should always be a last resort, not the first resort. And that is why the cavalier, careless, callous attitude of this administration, because they're playing with other people's children's lives and not their own, is the reason why they just doing this. And so I'm glad that most of the American people, they see what is happening right now and they do not like it. Now we need a Congress that has as much courage and intestinal fortitude or ovarian audacity as the American people who are speaking up and speaking out against this war, regardless of political ideology. So absolutely not. It should not be our troops. And you know what, Jink, another thing, I care just as much about the people of Iran too, because their blood should not be shed either for this.
They're all civilians, yes.
Oh, and Lebanon, and I mean, I know you had brought up Lebanon, but all innocent people who are now being pushed into these levels of conflict because a bunch of men, for the most part, I mean, there's some war hawk women too, are having a measuring contest that has repercussions and consequences, not just for those of us alive today, but for generations to come.
Yeah, Israelis, Lebanese, Palestinians, Iranians, they're all human beings. And we want to make sure they're all safe and nobody gets hurt. And so populist left, populist right agreeing here, but Christian left, Christian right also agreeing. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.